welcome to this week's mashup. As always, I'm Ray Carcillo in beautiful Los Angeles, California. Join my best friend Chad over in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Lee Elias. Lee, today's mashup, another great one from you. Of course, I had a little bit of a Ray rant because of the college football fiasco with the Final
Go back
Four.
And watch that. If you haven't already, You should go watch or listen to last week's episode. The last episode on the playlist will have that epic rant. It was epic. Ray wants people to step in front of buses.
Yes, that is my new delineation between if you are a moron, you should step in front of a bus. That is my new brilliant scheme and plan.
There's probably an acronym in there somewhere.
Something. We'll figure it out. We'll work on it.
We're working on it.
We'll put it through the marketing department. But
we're working on it.
The point is the NCAA, of course, made a terrible mistake with their final selection for the college football playoff. So Lee came up with another brilliant mashup. Which member of a superhero team would be the most likely to be left off in this kind of scenario? Who would be the first one out, as it were? And of course, this is thinking of the Avengers, the Justice League, the X-Men, all your great teams. Lee, let's start with the Avengers. What Avenger would the college football playoff shadow committee boneheads decide, you're on the outside looking in?
You know, Ray, I thought about this because the obvious choice is Hawkeye. All right. The obvious choice is Hawkeye, but they didn't make the obvious choice the more I think about it. So I think it's very possible that they could tell Iron Man no. Based on their dislike of him and the fact that he kind of has some L's in Iron Man 2. Right? You know what I mean? Like he was kind of beating Iron Man 2 a little bit, or even in Iron Man 1, it was a little bit beat. Right. So I could see him doing something stupid like that. But if we're thinking sane, obviously it comes down to Black Widow and Hawkeye, unfortunately, just because they are somewhat powerless.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. Hawkeye kind of does have a power, doesn't he? When you really think about it. He's not said to have a power, but he always hits the mark.
I agree, and I think that in terms of especially if you start to expand the roster a little bit, like later on, like to me, the first person I think of getting the boot would be Ant-Man.
Well, if we're expanding beyond the original 5 Avengers, there's a few you could pick. I was thinking the original 5. If you want to go like to the current standpoint of the 6,000 characters that we can just pick all of the Eternals and agree.
Well, yes, then that's the Eternals would definitely be out of the entire MCU if possible.
Yeah, or
I mean, I think that probably, if you're between, I mean, if they were going to take somebody out, maybe they take out Hulk. Right?
Yeah,
because he's the liability. Because
he's too strong though. Like again, if we're gonna think about this logically, I think it comes down to
it's Hawkeye or Black Widow. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I'd actually take Black Widow out. Yeah, because not that I don't love Black Widow and Scarlett Johansson, but Hawkeye always hits his mark.
He does, but to me, see Black Widow though, to me with her espionage skills, I think has
he has them too though.
Yeah.
He's just not as good as her. But I'm trying to. I have to go back and watch Avengers 1. I'm trying to remember what she really does in that fight. Like Hawkeye does stuff. He does a lot of that fight. I mean,
he goes a lot of arrows, a lot of arrows.
Yeah, and then we got to remember that what's her name is watching, and he spawned another superhero in that fight.
Yeah, that's true. Kate Bishop. Yep.
Yeah, and as much as I do love Black Widow, but I'm trying to remember what she really does in that fight.
Yeah, no, that is a good point. It might have to be ScarJo.
Yeah.
I mean, and then to be fair, the MCU committee did end up voting her out in the end anyway.
Big time. Yeah. So I think the logical choice would be Black Widow. Please let us know if you disagree.
Yes.
I think the NCAA committee would have taken out like Captain America or somebody that really needs to be there because they're undefeated.
Yeah.
Now, again, if we're expanding the roster, it's really tough. I mean, in terms of all the superheroes that are still around, I don't think you can take out Ant-Man because his powers are too powerful. Like they're really important. The problem is, I think if we're talking this from like a Geeks Like Sports environment, it's underdeveloped characters like Ironheart. It's insanely underdeveloped.
But the thing is at least with her, she's going to get some development. Like she's going to get her own show.
Yeah, well, Florida State's going to be good again next year too, man. They'll be in the playoffs next year. Like, we're talking about right now.
Oh yeah, when the playoffs are 12 teams. Yeah.
yeah, we're talking right now. All right, that's that and the Eternals are the most underdeveloped. Or Black Knight. There's one you
That's
can
the
do.
one I
He's
think
not
I would
even the
I would
Black
get rid of the
Knight.
Black Knight or Blade.
What Black Knight? He hasn't even touched the sword yet.
Yeah.
We just got Blade's voice, you morons. By the way, it's all in the Eternals.
It's
I
all
don't care if it's a spoiler.
yeah, it's that whole film.
I didn't spoil anything because they haven't done anything.
Yeah, no, that's also true. That's also true.
That is also true.
Yes. So
okay.
Yeah. All right. So those are the Avengers. What about
That's the easiest one. That's the easiest
What
one.
about the X-Men?
Oh, okay. So I think we said we want to do like X-Men 97, except for Jubilee, because she automatically would have been that person.
Right.
And for those of you who love Jubilee, there's nothing to support your point that she should be in that group.
Yeah.
Nothing. She shoots fireworks out of her hands.
Yeah.
I think, let's see here. So X-Men 97, we should go who that is. It's Gambit, Storm, Beast, Professor X, Jean Grey, Wolverine, and Cyclops, if I'm not mistaken.
And Rogue, yeah.
And Rogue, and technically Morph.
Morph was there, and you've had also you did have cameos throughout. You had Colossus and Nightcrawler and others cameo, but
yeah, they're I wouldn't say they were primary storyline characters.
No,
right. But so of all of those, it's tough. That's a tough one. If you put a cybernetic gun to my head, like Cable would have done, I mean, it's tough. It depends on the fight, doesn't it?
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
that's kind of the obvious choice, but she's not.
Well, that's the thing. I was going to say, especially like Rogue usually, but X-Men 97 Rogue, because she also has Captain Marvel's powers.
She already does. Yeah, she's really. A lot of people don't know that, by the way.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like they did a whole episode on that where she visits Carol Danvers in a coma. Like
it's funny because a lot of us watching at the time didn't realize that she was that powerful, but she's insanely powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, right?
I would probably say Cyclops again.
I might too. Like Wolverine's not going anywhere. I mean, Gambit might be. Gambit is one of those. Like if it was the committee, Gambit would be out because he's too cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right. I mean, that kind of matches with Florida State a little bit. We're not in New Orleans, but
yeah.
Again, Cyclops, Jean Grey. Cyclops, Jean Grey. Well, I'll tell you what. If Professor X is there, you don't need Jean Grey unless she's Phoenix.
Well, that's what I was going to say, but then she becomes Phoenix, so then you're like, you kind of can't get rid of her then.
Yeah, can't get rid of.
Storm, I think it comes down to probably Cyclops and Gambit. And and you're right, it's actually probably Gambit in that scenario.
Gambit. Yeah, because Gambit and Cyclops have similar powers too.
Well, I mean, here's the thing: Cyclops' powers though are like infinite. Like once Gambit runs out of playing cards, he's kind of useless.
Well, the other thing too is, I mean, Cyclops is more of a leader.
Yes, and he's
in X-Men 97, he actually is a leader. Like he actually he's boring.
He is the lead. He is the leader. I mean, and that's based off of obviously the comics where Gold Team and Blue Team, Cyclops leads the Blue Team, if I remember correctly, and Storm was the leader of the Gold Team.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen. Sorry, Remy, you're out.
Yeah. Bye, Mr. LeBou.
Yeah, you should have picked something other than playing cards.
Yeah, both staff was cool, but you're not Donatello.
No, we should do Ninja Turtles too at the end of it.
Well, I was gonna say it would be really interesting when there's really is only just like 4 characters on a team, whether it's like Fantastic Four or Ninja Turtles or who would be your weakest turtle? Who would be the weakest link for you in the Turtles?
A lot of people are gonna disagree with me on this, but it would actually be Raph.
Me too.
Yeah, I'll tell you why. It's just he's not a team player at the end of the day, and that's the only reason why I'd kick him.
Look, he's got the worst weapon.
He does.
He's a hothead.
Yeah.
Like here's the thing: Michelangelo has the highest potential. He ends up being, spoiler alert, the last Ronin, right? Like he ends up having the highest potential of the Turtles. Donatello's the smartest. Leonardo's the leader.
Right.
So what does Raph do besides have an attitude? Bye, Raph.
Bye. Yeah. Maybe that wasn't as hard as I thought. I think a lot of people would say Michelangelo, because they think he's this wishy-washy dude, but the truth is he is the most talented of them.
Yes, if he just focuses, like he, especially in the lady, he's probably like an undiagnosed ADHD kid, and like nobody knows it yet.
Oh my God, you're right.
That's Michelangelo.
Yeah, you're right. You're totally right.
Meanwhile, producer Caitlin is screaming because she wants Raphael to not be the weakest link, but he is. Sorry, producer Caitlin.
Well, producer Caitlin, tell us who you would pick. Because I'm sure we'll rip it apart. You better make a good point. You better not just say Leonardo and then say we'll get back. We'll allow Caitlin to voice her feelings through text. But I think I know everybody loves Raph. He's rude.
Not us.
The song even says he's rude.
Yeah, he's got an attitude.
He's got an attitude.
Fantastic Four.
Oh man. That's a really tough one.
Yeah.
Probably dang.
Yeah.
Because his powers are the most contained. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's basically just the brute, whereas the Human Torch, especially as they get older, like the Human Torch's powers get better. Invisible Woman's powers get she learns more about them more than what she can do. And even though Mr. Fantastic probably has worse powers than Thing, he is the smartest man on the planet, and that gives him an edge.
Oh, massive edge. And his powers aren't nothing. He just doesn't use them to their full potential because he's weak, he's softy.
Right.
Not to mention, if we wanted some muscle, we could hire that.
That's also true. I mean, look, that's a team that's had She-Hulk before. It's had Spider-Man in it before. Like the Thing, as much as we all love the lovable blue-eyed Ben Grimm, he is probably the most replaceable of the Fantastic Four.
I would agree. Now, if it was the NCAA committee, it would be Sue Storm because she's a woman. I'll say it.
That is true. That is true.
You idiots. All right. Caitlin says Raph is a team player, but he's teammates first. I know what she means by that. My philosophy on team building is team, teammates, self in terms of how you organize. And she says Leo is a suck up. Yes and no. Yes and no. I mean, he good soldiers follow orders. I mean, he just loves Splinter like a father. I mean, I don't know if that makes him a suck or not. But I can't give away the swords. The
thing is he is he's got that oldest son syndrome kind of thing.
I mean, he does. That's a good point. Right.
Yeah. So
hey, listen, that's the whole point of the mashup. Agree to disagree.
Yes, exactly. And we all want to. Again, we got more teams to go through, but it's like we say every week. It's why we want to know what you think.
This is an awesome mashup.
Yeah, this is a good one. Last one, showing that obviously not just Marvel bias. Justice League.
Okay, so let's just say we'll go with the original 7, which it's Superman, Aquaman, Flash, Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter, and Wonder Woman. This is hard, but it's not. Yeah, it's not that hard. Was that 6?
I mean,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 7. Superman, Batman, Aquaman, Flash, Green Lantern, Martian.
Oh, Aquaman. Oh, I didn't hear Aquaman. That's the one. Yeah. Aquaman. Bye bye.
No, unfortunately, Ray, it's Batman. I hate to say it.
No.
If
Batman's the smartest,
if the NCAA's doing it, it's Batman.
No, it's not Batman. Batman would get it. Batman would be Alabama and would get in.
That's very, very true. I don't think it's Aquaman. If I'm looking at this, oh man, this is tough. So actually, it'd probably be Martian Manhunter.
Martian Manhunter's got the same powers as Superman.
I know, and he does nothing with them ever.
Because he tries to be a pacifist.
He's a wimp, and I've never understood that character. He never does anything with those.
He's the last of his species.
Whatever.
From a war-torn Mars.
I listen. Martian Manhunter, for those of you, Ray just said it, has the same powers as Superman and can shapeshift. He's arguably better than Superman.
He's arguably more powerful. Right? Yeah,
and he does all.
He also doesn't have the weakness.
Unless
they have different weaknesses. They have different weaknesses.
Right now, Green Lantern, they've kicked enough of them out, so I don't want to pick him.
Yeah.
All right, Flash, no way. You need to get him the first time eventually. Yeah. Wonder Woman's too powerful. Superman's too powerful.
Yeah,
I do agree with you. Batman would find a way. Even if this was the situation he was voted out, he'd still find a way to get back in.
Yes, exactly. It'd be the final 4. Green Lantern would be there, and suddenly Green Lantern would disappear, and Batman would be there.
Yeah,
bomb goes off. Batman appears.
Aquaman's too powerful. Like I don't know. I know everybody likes to crap on Aquaman, but he is one of the most powerful. I mean, he rules more of the world than the other guys.
No, I mean I get that, but it's like. It depends. He doesn't use his powers to their fullest ability either a lot of the time.
That's fair. I'm just saying he rules like 87-90% of the Earth's surface.
Right, but then when they go to space, he's worthless.
You make a good point here.
A lot of Justice League does a lot of stuff in space.
Well, let's see. So Superman's not worthless.
No, Flash. Superman and Wonder Woman and Flash, I think, are locks. Those are your 3 undefeateds there.
Yeah. Batman in space, he would make it work, but he's very, very delicate.
He's more limited. Yes.
All right, Aquaman, you're right. No powers in space. Green Lantern has powers in space. Martian
Manhunter thrives in space.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, you're right.
And Martian Manhunter too.
Yeah, but he wouldn't do anything unless he's mad. He doesn't do anything.
He really has to be provoked.
Yeah, it's weird. I love what they did with him in Invincible, by the way. Like the Martians were some of my favorite characters. Anyway, that's a lot. These were some good ones here. These were that Ninja Turtle one was kind of hard. But
that was even though we both quickly said Raphael. But
yeah, I guess Caitlin's spirit turtle is Raphael.
I guess.
I mean, I'm definitely a Michelangelo.
I'm Donatello.
Yeah. We need a Leo.
Yeah, we need a Leo.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Is Xavi a Leo?
No, he's more of a Mikey too.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm Splinter, aren't I?
Maybe.
Yeah. Now that I'm older.
Yeah. You're the
Savi's
old man
probably
now.
more of a Donnie. That's Xavier Editor is a Donnie.
Yeah.
We need to know if you were a Leo.
Yeah.
No, because we want to know what. Yeah.
We want to know what you do. What Ninja Turtle would you be, and who would you kick out of these groups? Avengers, Justice League, X-Men, Fantastic Four, Ninja Turtles. Those are all good ones.
Yeah, I'm sweating. This was so hard. It might be the COVID I had.
It might be the COVID. Well, on that note, we'll let Lee get back to bed. We appreciate it. I appreciate you crawling out here to do another episode. So
I just unplugged my mic.
Oh. That's it. Lee's done. The COVID has taken over. He's done. It's over.
I'm back.
He's back. He's back for the goodbye. But all right, we'll be back next week. Yes, we'll be back next week with a full episode again, of course, of Geeks Who Like Sports, and of course another mashup. Big episodes planned, I'm sure. Like I said, we teased it. We were expecting hot stove news. We're expecting a lot of stuff out of the Game Awards. So that'll be all on next week's episode. And again, go back and watch last week's episode and watch the other mashups. And again,
tune in for another great mashup next week. We don't even know what it's going to be yet. We come up with these on the fly, and they're always fun.
Yes, Lee is very quick with them. And yes, we're once in a blue moon, I'll come up with one. So, but mostly
you're good at them too. This was a good one. I enjoyed
this. Was a great one. This was great. I guess something good did come out after all of the NCAA's incompetence. This mashup.
Us.
Yes, as always, yes. So I'm gonna go drive my bus now, and
meep meep.
Meep meep.
That's the sound it makes. Meep meep.
Yeah. On that note, everybody, for Lee, I'm Ray. This has once again been the mashup. We'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.